Let's go. Are we actually on? You're here listening with Kayla
and Georgia,
bringing you real, raw, and relatable chats on the Evolve to Thrive podcast.
Stay tuned because shit's about to get juicy as we dive into all things health, fitness, life, and relationships.
Let's go. Woo. On today's episode, we have the amazing Anna and Jose joining us from Nutrition Capital. And if anybody knows me, we know how much I love Nutrition Capital. Like froth it every day. Both Anna and Jose are honestly a wealth of knowledge when it comes to all things health and fitness. So today we are going to be diving right into supplementation, how to pick what products are best suited for you, and also the success story of Nutrition Capital. So a big welcome to you both and thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having us.
How are we?
Going good. A little bit hungry.
Yeah.
A little bit hungry. Did you eat before you came?
Yeah, I did actually.
He thought there was food here, actually. He was like, no, I'm kidding.
Well, I've got some things for you to try later, so hopefully that'll fill you up.
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect.
As long as it's micro-friendly, he'll have it.
It's definitely macro.
We're cutting.
No.
Well, no, just trying to keep my calories in check because I usually tend to
Eat whatever.
Yeah. At
Yeah.
the moment, yes.
Georgia can relate at the moment.
I'm getting a bit more control back, but yeah, it was for the last couple of weeks. I was a bit of a garbage guts. I was just
Hey, you need a little bit of balance. You need a little bit of off-tracking sometimes.
you do.
Sometimes you learn the hard way that you shouldn't have been off track, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. You need it though.
When
You
you're the
need to
size of
reset.
the house, then you're like, oh, maybe I should just pull that back in a little bit.
Stop it.
You're back on track. Your mindset's better. Your energy's
Yeah.
better. We're good to go.
I'm just better to be around.
A much happier person.
Yes.
All right. Well, we have a segment of the week that we do every single week, and it is either a craving or a tip that you will provide. So, who wants to go first out of you two?
Let's start with Anna.
I'll go for the tip. I just wanted to remind everyone that daylight savings starts on the 1st of October because I know for a fact everyone's gonna miss that hour of sleep.
Yes.
And be like, whoa, I didn't know, but now you know. So
Now we know.
don't tell
First
me I
of
didn't tell
October.
you.
1st of October. Okay.
No,
Yes.
So you lose an hour of sleep. You're not gaining.
yeah,
You
I
lose
think
it.
we'll lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll lose it.
But it's summer at least, so fucking hell
Yeah.
The sun's coming up
We
earlier.
get an extra
Yeah,
day,
no,
an
that's so much
extra
better.
hour of light.
Oh my
Yes.
god, I love daylight savings.
Yeah, me too.
It's the
me
best.
too.
Literally the only thing about Melbourne that makes it shit. Everything else is great. It's just
The weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you meant daylight savings. and
Yeah,
was
so
like,
did
what?
I mean, living up in Queensland, like it was like sunny. We're supposed to sunny all the time. Whereas
Why'd
here-
you move from Queensland to Melbourne?
Oh, I lived in Melbourne, moved to Queensland for a job, and then that went pear shaped and came back down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, fair.
That's actually when we sort of met.
Yes,
and I
that
told
was
him
a part
to
of it
just
too.
stay. I was like, "What is your problem? Leave. Stay there."
Oh, we're gonna get into that, I reckon, at your love story. But Jose, what is your tip or craving?
Oh, just when you feel like this week's been pretty hectic for us. So when things are just getting hectic, just know when to just stop
Oh my
and
god,
just
slow
take
down.
a break.
that was literally mine.
Yeah,
Just to, when you feel overwhelmed, you
Yes.
just need to know when to. It's okay
but it's
to
hard.
have a
It
break.
can be hard to just be like, cool, I just need to stop. Because when you're so stressed, you just say go, go, go. That to actually consciously take a step back just requires like a level of consciousness to be like, cool, I
Yeah.
calm the fuck down.
And it's okay to take a step back as well.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my.
Love that.
I love that tip. We've definitely both used that tip before. I mean,
we're even talking about this before, like earlier tonight.
Yeah.
Just to zone the fuck out and just chill.
Yeah.
Chill.
So
Have a
how are
bath.
you going to be zenning out on the weekend then? Are you going to take your step back on the weekend, or is that when it's going to go?
Are you going to take your own advice or?
I would love to. This Saturday with your training.
Yes, I will be with you.
Yes, you will.
I'll be spending some time with G in the morning, but I think definitely on Sunday. We usually try to like have a wholesome Sunday, anyways. See family or just do nothing, like do
Yeah.
absolutely nothing, just watch something. Sit on the couch, lay on the couch.
I think that's a great tip. I'm going to take upon your advice and definitely indulge
Do
in
nothing.
some of that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Do we want to get into our episode instead of worrying about our tip or craving? Or
Yeah, I want to hear your tip or craving.
my
of the week.
God.
What is it? Talk to me.
What am I craving? So I have a high carb day this week.
Yes.
love
I don't know what. I need your advice on what I should have as my high carb day. I'm actually going to ask for a tip today. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to change this.
Crumpets.
I'm going to change this
Yeah,
segment.
crumpets.
Crumpets with Biscoff.
Oh, Biscoff.
Ooh.
Crumpets Biscoff is that's
Oh, wait. What
And
I've been
salt.
a little bit. No, wait. Yes, yes. A
Salt.
little bit of honey and a little bit of salt.
Yeah.
That little mix.
Ooh.
Yes.
And I'm going to
Yeah.
have a good old pump happening after that, aren't I? I'm going to have a good old pumping.
Pump is the best.
even some rice
but I'm
cakes and some
literally
honey.
Yeah.
Well,
Classic.
I'm even thinking like, do I make myself a little pizza? Do I get Luxor King like a noodle bowl?
Okay. Yeah. Yum.
No, I'm going to say Biscoff and crumpets.
Biscoff and
Yeah.
crumpets.
Oh, you got a sweet tooth then, don't you?
Oh, I got a massive sweet
There you
tooth.
go.
Biscoff
Massive
and
Do you have a
sweet
sweet-
tooth.
sweet
I
tooth?
do. Do you know what I've been told to get? The chocolate spread, like the chocolate peanut butter spread.
Which
The
one?
panna,
Yes.
forget it. It's unreal.
I've had it, but this is the
Really?
thing.
Yeah.
I have to just have it on Saturday and throw it in the bin. It's gotta go
Stop.
after
So-
that.
Okay, so I won't get
I remember when I when I was doing my preps, one thing I've learned in future when I diet again is don't introduce new things while you're dieting.
Yeah.
It fucks with your head.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, you can't just have a little bit and then be done with it.
Nah.
become obsessed.
No.
It's actually it's screaming at you while it's in the cupboard, and you're like, "Come and
Yes.
get me, come and get me."
That's
And
what
I'm
I
like,
mean.
Yeah.
I have to throw
That
it in the
was me
bin
after
after
dieting for
Saturday.
so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah. I would hate to know the amount of calories I consumed like the week after my prep. Like,
Yeah.
the feeling you're just out of control.
yeah.
Out of control.
My preps, well, all of my shows got cancelled. So every time I stopped prep, it was like one day of me just like, let's eat some food.
Yeah.
There was once, that was my birthday, and the girls got me, you know, the cake meal, the one that like is like a fountain of like
Oh,
Nutella
Yes.
on top of a cake.
Yeah.
Like they lift this thing and it's just like Nutella. Have you
Yeah.
seen it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they got me one of those. But they cancelled dinner. They closed all the restaurants. We went into like a full lockdown. So I got left with this cake.
All to yourself. What a convenience.
I shared with my family, but man, let me tell you, like I ate such big slices. The first slice was like this, and I was like, no one's stopping me. It's mine. It's so
The
bad.
funny thing is, it's just there, and I just see her come back to it every once in a while. Just grab a spoon.
You can't
Yeah, no,
stop,
you
though.
can't.
That's the
You
thing
can't.
with that stuff.
No.
You just cannot physically stop.
No.
It's just it takes over your whole body.
No, you
You're
become
possessed.
a bottomless pit. That's what you
Yeah.
become. And there's something that happens that you know you shouldn't, but you're about to. Your heart rate increases. Your eyes dilate a little bit more. And you're like, I can't stop this
You
from
salivate.
happening.
That's possessed. You're
Yeah.
possessed. That's all it is.
I mean, there is actually a scientific explanation for what that happens. If you guys would actually like
I
to
would
know.
love to hear that.
Yeah.
Jose
Yeah.
can run us through it. Oh.
Don't keep going.
He's sharing. I'm like,
Jose can run us through it. I like his explanation better.
Yeah.
But there's actually a reason why that happens to everyone after a long period of dieting, and we shouldn't feel like we shouldn't
Good
feel
segue,
bad. you
yeah.
know?
Oh my god, yeah, no, I want to hear that.
Go into it. Go into
So
it.
kind of put me in the
It's
spot. So, as in what? Like when you just get hungry?
You're grilling and you're lifting.
Oh.
Being out of control.
So that when that period of when you come out of your prep and that
Yep.
feeling of being so out of control.
Yeah, your leptin receptors are fucked. I mean,
Yeah.
like you just will not feel full.
So
Can
like
you
can
explain
just-
what leptin and ghrelin is? Because
Yeah,
they
what's the
sort of sound like
scientific
hobbits.
reason behind
So
it?
leptin and ghrelin, they're hormones. So leptin is basically the hormone that tells you when you're full.
Mhm.
Ghrelin is a hormone that tells you you're hungry.
Mhm.
So after that, when being in a deficit for so long, your ghrelin levels are through the roof,
Yeah.
and your leptin levels are shot. So you become basically a bottomless pit where you can just keep continuously eating, even though normally when everything's normal, you're full
Mm.
after a certain amount. But you can just find yourself, you can just keep going, and that's the dangerous. I'd say the dangerous thing after prep is just after it, you just keep eating.
Yeah, I've
You
had
know?
that.
Because your body doesn't tell you that you're full, or even if you do feel full, your mind is still like, no, you're hungry, keep eating.
And
keep
because the
eating.
restrictions are off, you don't have your coach, down your neck as much, being like, we've got this, and nor do you have that deadline that you put so much pressure on. You've got this freedom, you've got this craving, you're hungry as fuck. Naturally, like you're instinctively going to do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
and you've worked your ass off for it, so you're just like, I deserve this.
Yeah.
I deserve this.
And like, I mean, to just think about it and put it into perspective, when you are in those last weeks of prep, you can't sleep because your body, it's in survival mode. When we were in the ice age, or back in the day, our bodies actually had that survival mechanism to just wake up in the middle of the night and scavenger for food when there was no more big predators out there to get you. So we can't sleep because we're dieting ourselves to the bone.
Yeah.
So it's just normal that you're gonna be like, okay, I need to eat everything now. But I mean, it's obviously, it can be dangerous as well. There is a thing called refeed syndrome that can happen if you eat too fast after a long period of dieting, where your body can go in a little bit of shock, but not like prep dieting.
So it's called refeed syndrome.
Refeed syndrome, yeah.
And
Yeah,
what happens? Is that when you blow out?
It's not when you blow out. It's literally it would happen as sort of like
It affect your organs.
it affects your organs, yeah. So it's not sort of like you just gaining fat. You would actually go into hospital for this because your body has just gotten all of these nutrients all at once after a long period of not
After being
getting,
malnourished.
malnourished, for a long period of time. That's why it's so important to have a good coach that actually takes care of your health.
I think even like just knowing like the limit to push, like do you really need to be that deprived to get up on stage?
Absolutely.
Like you're clearly not ready to go into a prep if you have to kill yourself to that point.
Like if you need to get to that level, you probably shouldn't be competing. Like the best coaches I know are the ones that will take someone and be like, hey, you shouldn't compete this season coming up. You need to take a year to actually, so the coach can get to know the person, build their calories up.
Yep.
And then start to bring them down. Because most of the time when these people are like, I'm ready to compete, they're already eating about maybe less than 3,000 calories. They're training 5-6 days a week. Where the fuck do you go from there?
Yeah, you've got nowhere to. You've got no room to move.
And, you got a lot of coaches. There's so many coaches out there nowadays. What does the coach do? Turn down the client and turn down a paycheck?
Yeah, exactly.
What does it? And yes, that is morally it's wrong for them to just take on the client knowing that's going to fuck them. But this client's going to go somewhere and get what they want, what they're willing to pay for, and that's someone to basically fuck them up.
Yeah. Because even like I remember when I was in my peak week, there was points where I was sitting at my desk at work and I just felt like I was just not even conscious I wasn't even like in my own body.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I always say this, if I had just spent more time building so I didn't have to get that low and feel like physically sick, it would have made such a difference.
Absolutely.
Such a difference.
Yeah, that's our I guess our tip then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't go into a prep too soon unless your calories are built up. Until you've built that up, don't go into prep because otherwise you'll be very freaking deprived.
Yeah, and that's what you don't want that.
No.
But let's get straight into it.
Yeah, we want to start, I think, by just introducing you two as you two, obviously. So we want to know a little bit about Anna, a little bit about Jose. Obviously, you two are the founders of Nutrition Capital, and we know so many of our listeners know about Nutrition Capital. It is a very, I would say you guys have grown so much in the last couple of years as a supplement store out in the West, and you currently have 3 locations, but you are building a 4th. So you are located in Essendon, Kayla Road, Werribee, Sunbury, and soon to be Broadmeadows. Now, how long ago did you start your first store?
Well, take us right back to the start.
Take us right back to the start.
So right back to the start. So this little store actually began by 4 individuals. So it's me, Jose, but also Michael Liccardo and Dave Walker. They are the other directors of Nutrition Capital. So it actually began in a really funny way. So me and Jose were together. We met through the industry.
Should we actually backtrack and start with that?
Yeah.
How did you two meet? Let's go.
Let's start with. So would you like your love
story?
Okay.
Anna and Jose's love story. Let's go.
All right. So I was working in Bendigo at the time. I working in a sub store in Bendigo, and I was seeing someone kind of thing, whatever, and we still had her on Instagram. And I remember one day she posted someone on her story, and it was Anna, and I was like, damn, she's cute. And I realized she was like of my culture, Latina, and working in the industry. And I thought that was really cool. So I was like, she's cute. All right, I'm gonna follow her. So I followed her on Instagram.
And when I received that follow request, I turned to my coworker and I was like, "Who's this?" Says, "You follow him," and she says to me, "Do not talk to him." So,
Red flag. So she stalked him.
I thought we were friends, to be honest, but
they were friends. They were on good terms, but they did have a thing prior in Bendigo. Jose was living in Bendigo for a while, and I listened to her. You know, I was like, absolutely, sure. So I didn't. For a
How
while.
long?
well, eventually.
I listened to her, but here I am now.
Well, then I would see things on her story, things that I could be like, hey, I can relate to that. So then I would send her a message, you know, something to do. It was never seedy. It was never seedy
You're
messages.
persistent,
that's
though.
funny.
I was persistent, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it would. I would send something. She'd send something back, but the conversation would never flow. Like, would nearly. She didn't give me much to work with. So I took what I could, and then I was like, cool, I'll leave it, and I'll try again later.
Yeah. And then in that period of time, I sort of decided, like, okay, let me find out a little bit more about this guy. Like, who is he? So I started asking around, like, who knows this guy? Another one of my coworkers was like, I know him. He's a great guy, Anna. Like, so sweet, really down to earth. Like, you should really, like, no, he's so fine. So I was like, all right, okay, like, we'll see how this thing goes. So it had been a couple of times that Jose had been messaging me, and then that's when we sort of started chatting back and forth. But I was still pretty reserved. So
And she would always leave me on red.
Ah!
She'd always leave me on red. And I'd be like, okay, all right. And then one day we just actually had a conversation going, and we were talking. The conversation was about
Food.
It started with Nutella. Yeah, food. So food. And then I found out she didn't like Nutella. I was like, what? Who doesn't like Nutella?
I don't like Nutella.
I went through a Nutella craze at that point. So I was like, who doesn't like Nutella? And then I asked her if she liked burgers, to which point she said yes. But before she said yes.
But wait, let me tell them my side of that conversation. Because we were talking about food and we were going back and forth very quickly. My reception was bad. And he was like, Nutella. And I was like, no. So he's like, donuts. And I'm like, no, savory. And he's like, burgers. And then I said, yes. And I sent it. But then another message arrived, which said, with me, ? But my yes arrived after the with me. And it was a very enthusiastic yes.
It was an enthusiastic yes.
So there was no backing from that.
No.
So how was your first burger date?
So, I mean, well, that's the thing is that then we tried to plan it a couple times, and there was things that would happen that she had to cancel. And it would be last minute, and I'm ready to drive from Bendigo to Melbourne for this.
Wow.
I had no
I'm
idea
ready
where Bendigo was.
Don't let him go. He is a chaser. That's good.
And then it came down to the last time. I was like, you know what? Actually, this was my last time I was going to try. Like, literally, I was like, okay, if this doesn't work out, like this date doesn't happen, or this catch up doesn't happen, I'm just gonna leave it. Like, she's just not interested. I can take a hint. Well, clearly it wasn't a hint. It wasn't a hint. I was persistent, but it wasn't a hint. But so we went on. We gave it a go, and it happened. The date actually happened. We caught up. And how did it go? We caught up and we went to train the first thing.
We went to train because, like, you know, gym bros. So obviously he's like, what do you want to do? Burgers and gym? And I'm like, duh. What are you training?
The plan was, what was the plan? The plan was train, eat, movie.
And then movies. Yeah, he was very enthusiastic about this date. And I was like really confused because I was like, that is a really long first. Like, what if things don't work out, you know? Like, what if we don't like each other? But I still didn't know where Bendigo was. So
no, I'm coming from Bendigo. I'm going to make the most out of my time in Melbourne.
I had no idea. Like, I'm like, okay, sure, we can do all those things. Let's see how it goes. He's a funny guy. So he came to pick me up. I was like, come pick me up. He came to pick me up. We went to the gym. And then when we got to the gym, we realized we were actually training opposite things. I was training legs, he was training back.
Yeah, and nothing we would have trained really would have linked up. So
and we both had DOMs. Whilst we were at the gym, some guy tried to pick me up.
And I'm on the other side of the gym minding my own business. I'm like, okay, there's this guy talking to her. She must know him. I'm not going to be this crazy guy and just be over there. Who's this guy? Who are you talking to? Who was that? You know, I'm like, she must know him. Okay, I'm not from the area.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not from the area. Okay, she must know him. Okay, whatever. And I didn't know, but the whole time she was hoping I would come and interrupt.
I was like, where is he? This guy's just trying to help me with my weight. Like, please help.
That is so funny.
Yeah, it was so funny. Then we got to the date. We finally got to have burgers, and he forgot his wallet.
Yeah.
Oh, classic, Jose.
Classic.
Oh.
Girl has to pay for lunch.
Oh my
Anyone who
gosh.
knows me, I'm the worst with wallets and keys.
Yeah. Now I know that. Yeah.
Oh, was that a red flag?
He felt terrible, but I, in my head, I was just like, I was in the moment. I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, sure. Like, I'm a very trusting person. So I was like, sure, you forgot your wallet. I'll pay. Then he left me. Never saw him again. Nah.
I got my feed.
And then, he begged to go to like an ATM to get carless cash so he could pay for the movies. We went to the movies and then...
Well, that's the thing is that while we're eating the burger, right, she got burger all over her face and her hair. Well,
Mayo.
when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, come on.
But
she's cute and she's just making a mess of this burger. It was adorable.
No, the only reason I got that burger was because I was like, I'm going to get the bad dish. Every time I go out with my friends and we go get food, I get the shit dish. I always pick the bad food. Like, if I look at all the plates, I'm like, why is mine the worst one?
So you're that person.
Yeah. So when Jose picked the burger and it was a chicken burger, I was like, sure, I've never had a chicken burger. I'll give it a go just in case it's amazing and I miss out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like doing that.
Was it
burger.
good?
Well, it was a good burger, but
was
also
good.
it was a really good conversation because I was talking to someone who I realized had made so many sacrifices in her personal life for the people she loved, and I was like, hey, this is actually a really good person that I'm talking to. Like, this isn't just any girl. This is like someone that's wife material. Like, this is someone that's like, that. So yeah, that's how the date went.
Can I ask, did you think to yourself on that very first date, I'm going to marry this girl?
Yeah, look, when I remember being that date and I was like, this is something serious. Like, this is something that I...
Because we have multiple conversations about this. Like, most of the time, guys know instantly.
Look, I'm not going to say I was like, I knew instantly, but I knew that there was something there.
Yeah.
Like, something that was worth, like, proceeding with.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what preceded that really was him driving. Like, he would drive from Bendigo Friday night, Saturday, he would drive back Saturday night because I would be like, no, you can't stay over. He would drive back on Sunday.
Wow.
And then he would leave. So he would spend 6 hours on the road every weekend just to see me.
That is serious commitment.
Yeah.
Every weekend. And like, yeah, it was a lot. It was really sweet. When I realized where Bendigo was, I was like, bitch.
Yeah. Wow.
I was like, wow, I am the man being. I'm like, no, you come here.
No, you're coming here.
You tell him.
So how long were you guys together before Nutrition Capital started?
About a year, yeah.
About a year.
So a year into it, we dove right in. And now we've been together.
Wow. So is Sunbury your first store? That was your first store?
Yes, yeah. That was thanks to Jose driving up and down to Bendigo. Because Sunbury was this little satellite town that he just would stop over all the time, and he would go and train at any time there, just do his cardio.
Because where did you live at the time?
I lived in Sunshine. So he had to take the Calder down every single time.
So you're just getting him ready for it anyway.
Yeah, basically.
I am mind blown. This is a really cool story.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we've unpacked this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the Nutrition Capital side of things and a little bit about like how you got into the world of supplementation and why you started to actually create a store on, like, why did you want to get into this field of work?
I've worked in supplements since I was about 13 years. When I was 13, I actually got a job inside a gym in Epping up north, inside a little store in a gym. And I used to just run it for a couple hours while the owner was doing PT classes. And I just loved it. I loved being around it because before supplements, I was just going down like the wrong path. And training and supplements actually, in a way, saved me like it put me in a whole other direction. Like I had something to put my money towards that wasn't like, you know, drugs at that age.
Yeah.
You know, I had something to just focus on and to get and use that would have a physiological response. Like I like the idea of researching drugs at that when I was that young age, to the point where I even wanted to be like a pharmacist at one point when I was a kid, because I always found it fascinating.
Yeah.
So supplements really took me into that direction. And when I was 13, it started there and just been around it ever since. And working at Chemist Warehouse, working at the supp stores. So I've just always been in the industry. Yeah. And it wasn't until I was working for a chain store in Dubbo when it really all started to happen. I worked for a chain store and it was one in Bendigo, and we were going to do that same chain store in Sunbury. And Sunbury was always spoken about because it was just an area that had potential, and I drive past it all the time and just saw the potential there myself and thought, hey. So that's kind of how it came about in terms of me. Yeah, it's just something that I've always gravitated to, I've always loved, and just been around for so long.
And then when did you come into it, and how did you meet Michael? And
so it all sort of happened. So Jose moved down to Melbourne. He like changed basically his whole entire life. And when he was here, that's when he sort of like started talking more to Michael. Because Michael would come in the store, like to the store that he was working at all the time.
Michael was a rep for a company, the companies that we stocked. That's how he would come in all the time.
So he would come in all the time with his brand. And, you know, one day he was sort of like, you know, I was thinking I would like to open up a shop one day. And Jose was like, stop it.
You stopped that right now.
As well. Me too. Yeah. And then like he came home straight away and he was like, you know, like I was talking to Michael and he said we should open up a store. You know, I've been wanting for a while, like we're sure. So we went to have a meeting, three of us, Dave.
So at this point, we were already doing the supp store before Michael came. I want to do one, and this was with Dave Walker, one of our other business partners. And the reason why I did it with Dave was because I've always had this idea and the spot and the location I wanted to go to. My old boss actually just took his sweet time to finally get around to doing it. It took me 2 years for him to finally say yes. Like it was always like 2 years off. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. We'll do it now. We'll do it now. And just kept dragging me along. And I'm here building up his store, which was a very successful store in Bendigo, very profitable for him. And Dave came along and was like, hey, I'm ready to do it now if you are. And I'm like, oh shit.
Because time waits for no one, hey?
No. And I thought he was just messing around. And then a week later, he's like, so are we doing this or what? I'm like, oh shit, you're serious?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, let's do it. Because I had like the experience. I had the experience, the drive. I wanted to do it. I just didn't have the finance to do it at that point. That's where Dave actually helped us at the beginning. And then at that time, as Anna said, Michael came in at the exact same time. And
it just was supposed to be.
It was meant to happen, yeah.
And then we actually went up. We actually caught up all together. And funny thing is that I think Dave was coming out of a heavy night out. So me and Michael and Dave are just there, and Dave's there with his son. He's just like, you know, just
glazed.
And we just came up with a plan. We're like, all right, cool. You know, we actually all got along, and just thought we'd go for it.
I love that. I love that. That's insane. That's so good. And like to see what it was, but like to see how it started versus what it is now, like it's grown so much. And the thing that I love so much about Nutrition Capital is like the community that you guys have 100%. And the welcoming that you get when you come into your store. Like it is always such a happy, brilliant experience. The customer service is always amazing.
The workers are happy to be there.
All of your staff are so happy to be there, and all of you are also so knowledgeable. You know your shit, you know your product. And even when I first met both of you, I was like, wow, these two just know so much. And I could sit in store. You guys know me. I will fucking talk for hours. I will come into store
talk underwater if you could
for an hour, but I would just listen and learn so much from you guys about supplementation myself. And I think it's, your personality, Anna, as well. It's just so nice to see the community that you have, you know, built. And I'm really proud of you guys.
Thank you so much.
But I want to ask, how did the name Nutrition Capital begin? or come about?
Nutrition capital is actually a funny one. And I think that if I don't give a little bit of credit to my brother's fiance, she would kill me a little bit. So we were really stuck on the name. We didn't want it to sound like everything else. And I was really set on something very neutral, but I couldn't think of anything. So she went on like businessnames.com, and she just kept like nutrition, like supplements, like, and then a name came up and it was Capital Nutrition, and I was like, I like that, but I don't like it. I like capital, like sort of like the capital city, like where everything is. Like I like that idea. And then that's when we decided to switch around the words, change capital for capital, and C was born. Yeah.
That's so cool. I love that.
So that's definitely how it happened. And I mean, from the start, like, thank you so much for what you said, but from the start, we really put in a big focus on being really open and welcoming to everybody. We wanted to make sure that anyone that walked from the street or that just wanted to change their life for the better a little bit would feel able and just comfortable to walk through those doors. And I think that to hear what you guys say, and I guess to see all of our team members every day being happy and actually having a good time is really what we are there for. We truly believe in a life of service. You know, like we love to do things for people because it makes us happy. And it gives us back. Like, you know, like seeing someone just like come back and being like, oh my God, like I lost weight, or I gained some muscle, or I pooped. You know?
That's a big one.
It's a big one. I pooped. Like, it's like, hell yeah. Like, it's, you know, these are things that like a lot of the time, you know, we all struggle with, but we're not able to just get it sorted. And, you know, going to the doctor a lot of the time is very like scary for some people. And I'm not saying we're doctors, but what I'm saying is that sometimes people can't sleep because they just need magnesium. So just knowing that you're too stressed.
That's what I want to get into. That is exactly what I want to get into is, you know, what are some of the most common health concerns that you see on the daily with general population coming in? Because at the end of the day, a lot of people just come in and they just want to take everything. People don't need to take everything though.
And sometimes they don't even know actually what they come in for one thing, but actually need something else, like you just said.
Absolutely.
Let's get into this. What do you think is the number one problem? What people focus too much on versus what they actually need?
I feel like there's 3 different questions. I'll answer one at a time.
Yeah.
Okay, so some of the most common problems I find nowadays is stress. And we all know this, but I don't think people realize where the stress comes from. Like, it's not just, you know, deadlines at work. Like, stress is also like, you know, it's your mindset as well. Like, are you finding ways to, I guess, segregate things throughout the day? How much caffeine are you consuming? Like, it's a big one people tend to forget. And are you taking time for yourself? Or like, people find they adapt to their levels to their stress levels quite easily, and then what becomes highly stressful to everyone else becomes normal to them, and the body adapts to that, which, you know, isn't a good thing long term. Like, it's a brilliant mechanism the body has to adapt to that level of stress, but that causes issues long term. So stress would have to be one of the main things I would say. I see people coming in.
I think it's also worth mentioning that stress is a hormone. It's cortisol. Is not something that just like dissipates because you're like, okay, I'm not stressed anymore. Like,
you've meditated and it's gone.
Your body still needs to drop those cortisol levels, and you still need to regain that balance within your hormones. So having a good, I guess, like support network, but also like a good mindset and good habits can really, really, really can really help out.
What's the one thing you would you recommend to people that come in for stress?
For stress, magnesium for sure. What's your top one?
Breathing. No, seriously.
Yeah.
Like I'll talk to a few people, and like, you know, as much as supplements are great tools to use, you know, they're meant to help you alongside other things as well. Like, I was just talking to a lady over the phone today, and she actually called us asking for help. What supp should I use? And I didn't sell her any supp. I told her, sit down when you're eating your food, take big breaths before you eat, And that way, you know, we'll see how your reflux goes.
Yeah.
You know, just a bit of apple cider vinegar if you've got it at home. Let's try that. See what happens next. You know,
even your thinking too, like when you can actually take a second and just get air inside your body, inside your brain, you can think a lot more clearly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But to touch on Anna, like magnesium's easily one of the big ones.
Yeah.
But also the quality of magnesium is super important as well. Like there's, unfortunately in this industry, there's that much shit out there.
Yeah.
There's that much shit. And I hate it. Like there's that many companies just looking to make a quick dollar. You know, so I guess this product technically has some claims. I guess we'll put the claims on the label, slap it on. Okay, sell it. I'm sure it'll help some people when you could be doing things better.
And it's probably got like the littlest bit of magnesium in there, and it's just pumped with other crap.
Yeah,
What would you recommend looking for when trying to find a magnesium supplement that is actually worthwhile, that doesn't contain all the shit? Like,
And a
what kind
dosage
of
amount.
Yeah, what kind of dosage should you be looking for?
Good question. Usually, if your magnesium supplement ends in the letter like magnesium, then you've got your what it's attached to, whether it be bisglycinate, which I know a lot of you guys use, threonate. If it ends with ATE, you know, your chances are it's going to be a good form of magnesium. That's a good rule of thumb.
If it ends with ATE.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the one thing I'll see a lot of the times on the shelf is like a magnesium oxide, which does not absorb well at all. It's one of the worst forms. Actually, we'll recommend it for like bowel movement. That's about it. Anything else, which is one that we'll see quite a bit.
Is there like a specific time of the day people should take that?
Anytime, magnesium any time of the day. Like if you want to sleep better, take it before bed. If you want to recover better, take it after your workout. But ultimately, if you can just have a high enough magnesium in your diet, whether it be through food or supplementation, timing isn't as important as having enough in.
Yeah, right.
And as for dosage, look, you'll find that when you use a magnesium supplement, it could say 1 gram of magnesium, but then you'll see something underneath that says 200 milligrams of elemental weight magnesium. That's how you compare magnesium from looking at the elemental weight of magnesium itself.
Okay.
Because when you look at the dosage, the weight will include the whole thing. So magnesium bisglycinate, 2 grams. Then you'll see magnesium elemental, 200 milligrams. That's how you compare the two.
Yeah.
So to answer the question on dosage, about 200 milligrams is a nice dose. No, it is not. But some people will need more if they're sweating, if they're excessively training, if depending on what their needs are.
And how do you think caffeine affects stress levels as well?
Jose's a fan of that. Love talking about caffeine.
Caffeine is a toxin. And what that toxin does...
La 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 la.
Literally why I'm reluctant.
And what it does, it creates a response to produce cortisol, the stress hormone, which keeps you alert, awake, you know, keeps you going. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to demonize caffeine here. It's a great thing to use. It's just a lot of us abuse it a lot.
A lot of us have too much caffeine.
Absolutely. And there's always too much of a good thing. And that's with anything.
Because the relationship with that is people don't sleep enough. And then obviously being too stimulated will compromise your sleep.
Funnily enough, why do people use caffeine?
Stay awake.
Stay awake.
Energy?
Yep.
Energy?
Some people generally enjoy the taste of it too.
Yeah, well, there's that. There's that, yes.
When you're in prep, you just happen to be consuming more caffeine.
So much.
Because all the lovely tasty things just happen to have caffeine in
But
them.
caffeine excretes you of what your body needs to produce actual natural energy. So you end up in this vicious cycle of using caffeine to actually feel like you have energy, and depletes you of what your body needs to actually create energy. So you go for more caffeine. And people just realize that, but they just keep adding a band-aid over it.
Stuck in a vicious cycle.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So long story short, we're saying decrease your stress levels, increase your sleep, and monitor your caffeine.
Yeah.
Switch to decaf too, a good decaf, because that's what I've started to do, because I've been having coffee and my anxiety is through the roof.
Yeah. I think I was literally going to touch on that. Caffeine will be the worst thing for your anxiety. It will elevate your anxiety so much. It's really, really important for people to, going back to the breathing, like it's really important for people to sort of realize that a lot of the time when we have gut issues, they do stem from stress.
Gut issues?
Yeah. Because our body is on fight or flight. Like you have your rest and digest and your fight or flight. If you are constantly stressed and you're just shoving food down your throat, yes, you're going to have constipation. Yes, you're going to have bloating and irregular stools. Like it's just what's going to happen. So addressing the stress is going to help out a lot. A lot of people complain about like retaining fat in their abdomen also another thing that stress causes: sugar cravings, stress. So a lot of the time, yes, people do comfort things that they don't need. They need to address their stress levels.
How can people, like, what are your strategies for reducing stress besides magnesium?
Besides magnesium, I love to encourage people to actually do a little bit of journaling. I have like 2 strategies. So I actually got accredited for nutrition for anxiety and depression specifically.
That's cool.
Yeah, because we're all depressed and anxious. It's just a day and age. So for all the depressed girlies. But it's really just like, if you're an overthinker, just write it out, like before bed. If you're really just laying there thinking about everything you need to do the next day, then just write it out. If you are someone who literally
I do it.
You do?
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
George is pointing
so
at me.
important. Yeah.
Stressed. I'm like, no, I find journaling super powerful.
So important. Yeah. Like even just sitting out in the sun for a little bit, taking your shoes off and standing in the grass. I know that sounds very, very hippie.
Basic,
but
No, they're
great.
so
It's-
like, it makes such a difference.
it's just getting back to that, that
Take a moment.
foundation, like getting back to who we are, because we get so caught up in the day to day and all the things that we want to achieve that we forget that we are animals. We are just like the dogs and the cows living in the world, and we should just be able to be.
Yeah.
But because we live in this day and age, we don't. But we should be able to just take a moment and enjoy life
Yeah.
for what it is, for being present and just being here, like being able to do these things.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Strategies.
Well, I mean, if we want to talk now supplementation, magnesium, ashwagandha has been a huge one. A lot of people have been talking about
yes, I
recently.
have.
Yeah,
heard about
let's talk
this.
about ashwagandha. As
Ashwagandha is an adaptogenic herb, and it's used to help regulate stress. So people have been using not just stress, say before bed to wind down, but you can also use it throughout the day when you're feeling quite like you've hit a brick wall. Stress can make you feel like you've hit on the go, but it can also make you feel shit as well. So using ashwagandha can help you keep you where you need to be depending on the time of day as well. So feeling high strung throughout the day, feeling like you hit a brick wall, ashwagandha is great for that.
Yeah.
Before bed, winding down, great for that as well. It's getting a lot of rap now, and it's been around for quite some time too. Naturopaths is always referred to as withania, and we now know it as ashwagandha.
So it's the same thing.
Same thing. Yep,
Yeah.
same thing. Yep. So
Yeah.
so withania is the actual active constituent in ashwagandha.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Constituent.
because I know there's a few different forms of that. Is it better to have like a liquidy form or a powder, or it doesn't really matter?
Whatever's easiest to consume for the person.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll give you a little cheeky plug that the adrenal switch
I was just about to say that.
No, but honestly, because the adrenal switch product that I have, I get this in chocolate flavor, and I literally have it as a hot chocolate before bed, and it has both magnesium and ashwagandha in it
Yeah.
to help with stress, sleep, and recovery.
Yeah.
I couldn't not have that when I was in prep.
Same.
I remember when Switch like first came out, and this was like back in 2015, 15, yeah, about that. I was hesitant on stocking it at first, and then I saw that product, and I was like, "Hey, this is awesome."
This is cool.
And then I remember getting it into the store I was working at, and then just have it flying out the door because that many people loved it. Yes,
Yeah.
and it's not. Thing is, with supplements, right, is that you can have a great formula, which Switch have done really well. Like they've done well with the adrenal switch, but what they've done better is that they've actually made it easy for people to consume.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can have the best supplement in the world, but if it doesn't taste right, people
It's not gonna
aren't
hit.
going to have it.
It
And if-
needs to taste good, and
That's like greens powder. Greens powder's quite hard to master.
Yeah. Agreed.
But the Primabolics one,
Yes.
oh,
Yep.
So nice.
that's the only one that I think I can have. Mango. I think mango is
Yeah,
my
I love
favorite.
mango.
That's where it's at.
Yeah.
Let's move on to that then. Is what do you think are probably the stock staple supplements that the everyday person should probably consume? Because I guess when I'm working with clients, it's kind of like, what do they actually need, as opposed to walking into a supplement store and leaving with everything.
Yeah.
What would you say 3 to 4 stock staple supplements that are probably going to be beneficial to somebody?
Aside from having like a proper nutrition and eating properly, like
Yeah.
what supplements should they be taking?
I was gonna say it depends if they are like sort of like tracking their protein intake, because that completely takes out like the protein need.
Yeah.
I would say things that would genuinely just help anyone would be your vitamin B, like having that as a staple, probably a greens powder, like a really good greens powder, so you can get your immunity checked. And it also, a lot of them have a lot of gut formulas in there as well, with lots of glutamine to just like help with inflammation in the gut. And then another one would probably be adrenal switch, non-biasly, because it is just such a great thing to have in your day. Like it just really helps you get into deeper sleep.
Yep. For me, I would say yes. So like a good vitamin B for people that are lacking. It really depends on the person as well. Like if they're saying I'm lacking energy, vitamin B.
I was going to say why is vitamin B important to people?
So people that struggle with energy production most of the time is because they're B deficient, and most of the time they're B deficient because they're not getting enough in their diet, they're stressed, and they're consuming caffeine, which is a diuretic which excretes water-soluble vitamins like vitamin B. So using a good quality vitamin B supplement for those that are feeling lethargic constantly, provided they've had their bloods checked and it's not iron, vitamin B is a great thing to use. But if you're just talking to someone just randomly, just hey, these are 3 supplements, bang, without even talking to you, most of the time, like Anna said, protein powder, most people don't eat
Creatine.
Yep, that was the next one. Protein is not eating enough protein. Go protein, and then creatine.
That's probably the most common one I come across. People just don't consume enough protein.
Not at all.
Unless they start tracking it and know how much they should be consuming. They just don't consume enough protein.
We get it all the time. I have someone come in and ask them, how much do you eat enough protein? They're like, yeah, I eat enough. I'm like, I should have asked what they're eating. Then I ask them what they're eating, and I'm like, man, you're eating as much as like a little schoolgirl should be eating.
Yeah,
like, that's how much protein you're having.
Yeah,
and they trip out because they think the meals are healthy, that they're eating enough. But there's a difference between a healthy meal and a meal that's enough for what your needs are.
Yes,
for sure,
and your goals as well.
Yeah, and 100%. So definitely a protein powder.
Yeah.
In terms of protein, like protein powders and stuff like that, do you think it's best to incorporate protein powders, or would you say a mix of both food and
I would
powder?
say it genuinely depends on the individual and their time, like their time needs. If they can sit down and like prepare those meals, and if they can eat that much protein, then please go for the whole foods. They have micronutrients. They're going to be better for your digestion as well than having a lot of protein from like a whey source. Not necessarily that whey is bad for you, but if you have a lot of whey, you can get the protein farts. That is just something,
and they are horrendous.
Dangerous. So you don't want to get stuck on that. It happens with people that just like have like a protein shake and a protein bar, and they try to sort of meet their protein intake with a lot of low carb, high protein things. They get a lot of artificial sugar that just ferments into gas and gas.
There's a lot of artificial stuff in like things like protein bars and
protein bars.
I guess what I'll add to that as well is like it's I recommend probably taking like a food first approach, but not a food only approach.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is that if you can sit down and have your meal, like Anna said, have your food. Like with food comes vitamins and minerals that most protein powders don't have.
Yeah.
And if you're time poor or you just like the taste of protein, by all means, add it in. If you're going to choose a protein, just make sure it's a good quality source of protein. Most of the time people get, the protein fast because they're choosing a shit source of protein that has a lot of lactose in there, and they're probably lactose intolerant.
Let's talk about that, because I think we can probably separate the difference between why someone might take a vegan or a collagen protein versus another protein. Now, a lot of people that get gut issues or skin issues is because they've got something to do with dairy. They're lactose intolerant, or they're gut sensitive to dairy, whatever it might be. So for these people, that's why they're probably getting these gut issues. So how do people filter through what's a good protein powder and what's not?
So I would say your whey protein is the most complete amino acid protein. So having a complete amino acid profile is going to provide great recovery. Your muscles are not going to be sort of at a deficit with recovery. And what I mean by that is that some plant proteins and collagen have a lack of 1 or 2 amino acids in there, which means that you on? Okay,
keep talking. Sorry.
I was like, just in case we're just not on.
This has happened way too
But
many
yeah,
times.
going back to it. So they have a limiting amino acid. So these proteins like collagen and plant-based proteins have a limiting amino acid. It just means that that amino acid is not present there. And essential amino acids are essential to us because we don't produce them ourselves. We have to get them essentially from our diet. So if we were relying solely on an incomplete source of protein to recover, our body would have to grab that amino acid from our muscles and recover itself. So that's why whey is the best, but you can now find collagens that have added amino acids in there to provide better recovery. And also you find most plant proteins are pea and brown rice based. So those two complement each other on that limited amino acid. So they make a complete protein. I think honestly, it just depends. If you do have gut issues and you would like something without lactose, I would go straight to either a complete collagen protein if you don't want something that's going to be greedy, something that feels closer to that whey, or something that feels like a cordial. But if you just want something that's going to be more dense and a little bit longer to digest, I would go for a plant-based protein.
Yeah. What's your favorite plant-based protein that you stock? That's not all the grain, because you know how some, like you
It's
said,
very
are
hard to
grain.
find
naturally.
How do you find a good plant-based protein?
Okay, so there's two brands that we move a lot of. One is because of the marketing, and the other one's because it's a good quality product and they've done well with the texture. So there's the one that I actually like to recommend is Rapid Vegan.
Yeah.
And the reason why I like to Rapid Vegan is because plant proteins generally have a low percentage of protein. So for whey, you're looking at about 78 to 85% protein. For plant-based proteins, you're usually looking at about anywhere as low as 53 to about 70s is your probably range of protein purity.
Yeah.
Which means the rest can be a little bit of carbs, a little bit of fats. Like it's buying a protein powder. You're buying protein powder. You're not buying all the other stuff.
No.
Yeah.
Correct.
But you also want it to taste good and the texture to be good, and that's why I actually recommend Rapid Vegan, because they use a trademarked ingredient called smooth protein, which you probably if anyone who uses plant protein, they can turn the product around and they'll see a little logo on the back of the label, and it'll say it's smooth protein trademarked. And Ghost uses it, Fiber, which is a big CrossFit brand, uses it, Switch Nutrition uses it, and Rapid uses it. And that ingredient is a mix of essentially 3 other forms of protein: sunflower, watermelon, and pumpkin seed, and that gives it a nice smoother consistency while keeping those range of amino acids. So plant-based protein, I like to recommend Rapid Vegan because it's also the highest out of all of them in protein purity.
While we're talking about vegan protein powders, what are some common issues or some supplements that maybe perhaps those that are vegetarian or vegan should consider?
Ooh, yeah. Okay, creatine and B12.
Okay.
Those are the main two.
Why creatine?
So creatine's found in meats.
It's found in meats.
Creatine's found in meats. So obviously vegans and vegetarians don't get anywhere near enough creatine in. Body can still produce ATP without creatine, but supplementing creatine is another way to get high levels of ATP when needed with resistance-based training. So that's why creatine become one of the best things to use, and those that aren't getting it in through their food should supplement it.
Okay. Let's talk about creatine, because it is becoming a lot more prevalent and important, and the research is coming out more and more that it is beneficial.
As well, because I've never had this many women come into the store looking for creatine.
Yeah,
there was a time.
Let's unpack creatine. Why should males and females, for the matter, take creatine?
Okay,
and are the dosages different? Okay, in males and females.
So this while creatine is the most studied supplement on, there is still more and more studies coming out on creatine, its effect on mental cognition and benefits for brain health. Even studies coming out and the benefits of creatine in pregnancy. There's more and more studies coming out of creatine, and one of the recent ones is how case by case, person by person, the dosage of creatine can vary as high as an average daily dose of creatine is 3 to 5 grams. That's the peer-reviewed recommended dose of creatine. Yeah. Right? But now studies coming out showing that people can have up to 20 grams per day on a normal daily basis, depending on their needs and depending on the individual. Yeah. But 3 to 5 grams of creatine per day is sufficient for anyone that's resistance-based training. And
so what does it do for your weight training?
Gives you the gains.
Gives you the
Creatine is great. I like to explain creatine very simply. So creatine is basically what allows your muscles to have power, is what, like, it just supports that power movement. And when you think about your heavy lifts, where you get stuck is never like when you're here or when you're here. It's really when you're here, like that first push, that explosive movement. That's what you really need support with, and that's what creatine does. You allow your muscles to build more ATP, which is just more power. And when you supplement it every single day, it allows your muscles to push harder. I usually explain it like 5% of the first, like, of that explosive movement is supported by creatine. And then if you give more creatine to your body, then your body can push a little bit harder. There's so many studies that have been done, even with people that don't lift weights, that's shown an increase in that strength output after a 30-day period of just taking creatine, even though they've not started weightlifting or anything. Is just a 30% increase in strength.
That's crazy, isn't it?
By just taking creatine. Yeah.
I know with some supplements that you take, if you like take them with something else, they kind of counteract each other. Does that happen with creatine? If you take it with like a protein powder or pre-workout, will it counteract what it's actually meant to do? No,
with creatine though, if in solution for too long, can degrade. So so that's why you'll never find like an RTD, like, you know, you see like energy drinks and all that. You never really see one with creatine. Only one that did was Bang, and they got sued for putting super creatine in their drinks. Creatine actually isn't stable in solution for a long period of time. So if you want, the worst way to take creatine is to have it during your workout, sipping on it. Best way to take creatine though is actually with carbohydrates. Something that's going to spike your insulin to shuttle amino acids like creatine to where it needs to go. So
that's interesting.
So mixing it in with your oats.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. That's the best way to take creatine. But even if you took it on its own after a workout, it's still fine. It's just better if you had it with carbs.
Interesting. Yeah. That's a really good tip.
I'm going to switch mine to having it with my breakfast.
Perfect.
And while oats, you don't taste it.
No, you won't.
I was going to say the only way I'm taking creatine at the moment, I've slacked off, is through the grind supplement.
Is the worst way to have it.
Which is exactly
But you have that pre-workout, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's fine.
Yeah. All right.
But while on the topic of creatine, I'll also touch on something that we get quite a bit with it, and that's the water retention that people do with creatine.
Good point.
The reason why I want to bring that up is because, because
the scale weight, people think that the...
Yes. Yeah. So yes, you will hold water, but before you just tune out... So there's a difference between extracellular fluid and intracellular fluid. Extracellular fluid is what people fear, the puffy look that people get when they eat a lot of carbs and salts, right? Intracellular fluid is what's water within the muscle. And creatine holding water within the muscle is actually a good thing. It hydrates the muscle. The muscle appears fuller and therefore leaner. Any difference you see in the scale does not compare to the results that you get from supplementing creatine. So yes, you will see a slight difference in the scale, but you will not look fluidy. That's one thing I like to point out to a lot of people that hesitate with the idea of creatine supplementation and water retention.
Moral of the story, take creatine.
Yeah. Is there a certain period of time that people should take it? Like, is this something they should be taking every day ongoing, or is it like 3 months or...
Fat loss phase, building phase, maintenance phase.
Fat loss and building.
Fat loss, definitely. Like, fat loss is when you're usually at your weakest. Like, as you get at the end of your prep, you're not lifting as much. Creatine, one of the best things to be using. Only people that should take away creatine that are training are fighters or any sport that requires to be weighed in.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And water the plate. Yeah. I think also noting when you are dieting for a long period of time, your muscle fibers get drier because of the lack of carbohydrates. So it's really important to supplement and hydrate those muscle fibers. Creatine.
Perfect. Cool.
Get onto it.
All right. Well, I'm loving this because I feel like what I actually just come to my mind, protein powder for pregnant women. This is just really random.
That's a great one.
This is because I've just recently had a few clients that I need to check this out for.
I thought you were going to say recently pregnant.
No. We'd be surprised. Imagine 8 weeks out and I'm pregnant.
Sorry, Val, I've just fallen pregnant. I'm not dating anymore.
Oh, God. But yeah, I think supplementation for pregnancy is... it's told that they shouldn't consume protein powder. Is there protein powders that you can still consume when you're pregnant?
So there's actually, we stock one that's called Thriving Protein by NutriOrganics, which is a family and breastfeeding and pregnancy safe protein. So it's plant-based protein, and it does have about, I think, 15 grams of protein per serve, but it is completely naturally flavored, sweetened, and all of the ingredients are pregnancy safe. I think always consult your physician, like especially when you're pregnant, really important. What would your advice be?
Usually I will find it's like you have pregnancy multivitamins that are recommended to be taken, because one of the most important things to be having is enough folate when pregnant, fish oil, and yes, there's protein powders that can be used. And the reason why whey isn't actually, well, not that it's not recommended, but there's always a disclaimer with whey and can't be signed off within what TGA is, because it's derived from dairy.
Yeah.
So you can't have cheese while you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even though like we do have women that still use whey protein isolate because it's so derived, there isn't 110% proof that it is safe, which is why you'll always have the disclaimer with whey.
That's right.
Whereas with, now we're seeing more and more products coming out that are marketed towards women that are pregnant, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But these are products, proteins that are plant-based, because they can have pea and brown rice.
So plant-based is generally safe.
Plant-based.
Yeah.
Yeah. And collagen as well, or just plant-based, would you say?
There's collagen as well. There isn't anything that says 110% safe.
Yeah.
So I will not say, yes, thumbs up, because I can't.
Yeah.
There are people that will choose a hydrolyzed form of collagen with no flavor, no fillers, just pure form of protein, because it's just derived from bone.
Yep.
It's like having bone broth. I mean, just because it's a supplement, you'll have that, think for a second. The disclaimer.
Of course.
Yeah.
I was going to say, in summary, I guess, is there any supplements at the moment that are like your most popular, favorite?
Well,
like,
what about
in
even
terms of
for
snacks?
like people that are going through that time of the month when you've got your period? Is there anything that you would recommend for when they're on their period, or
Sleep.
sleep?
No. For us females, our cycle really rules a lot of our life. For that time of the month, definitely making sure, and I know that I keep going back to magnesium, but magnesium is what's going to allow your body to relax. Making sure that you are not constantly cramping up as well is really important. So making sure that you have electrolytes, keep yourself hydrated, that you try to stay away from alcohol and coffee throughout that period of time, and mainly just rest. Like, we should really not be exerting so much, especially for that first and second day. After that, it's like
go time.
best time, go time. But definitely for that beginning of your luteal phase, you should just relax and slow down.
Take a chill pill, kick back.
There is, I love my naturopath actually suggested this to me, but there is a herb that is called cramp bark, and it actually relaxes your muscles. So it's completely natural. We actually have it in store as well, if anything, but cramp bark is amazing for just relaxing your muscles. Again, definitely ask questions and let us know if you have any like medications or anything, so we can cross check if you can take it, especially with like those herbal tinctures. But
Love that.
Any tips?
Not,
feminist.
no.
Any tips for the women on their period?
Not my area of expertise. So
What's
like,
your
run away and hide?
What's your
Give her
favorite
snacks.
What's your favorite snack from Nutrition Capital at the moment?
I would probably have to say Smart Bars at the moment. I'm now hooked. Anna got me hooked on them.
Smart bars.
Yeah.
They are my absolute favorite. Can I just
100%.
say whose phone is going off at
That's
the
probably
moment?
mine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Someone's
gosh.
phone. That's okay.
You know what I love is especially through when I was through prep, is the power wraps.
Yeah.
They're so low in cal.
good. And they're like sturdy.
Mine
See, the ones
is-
that I had weren't sturdy,
Really? They would
but
be.
maybe it's because I warmed them up.
Oh yeah, you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
They're a good
Yeah.
one.
There you
Creamy
go.
rice. I love the creamy rice.
Oh my god, wait. creamy rice, salted caramel,
The salted caramel.
iso ripped, Biscoff,
Yeah, that's really good.
life
Yum.
changing.
The CaloFit sauces as well.
It tastes like cream of rice, like the actual dessert.
Yep.
Yeah,
So good.
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
Rice pudding, whatever it is. Yeah, I love it.
CaloFit, I came across CaloFit just before lockdown from another store on the other side of the city. And then when they first started, and I saw the packaging. I love packaging of supplements. Like I think if they package a product right, I'm going to pick it up.
Yeah,
And I saw the
100%.
CaloFit
Yeah.
sauce, and I'm like, this is cool. And not that I gave a shit that was sugar, like low calorie at the time, because I could have whatever.
Yeah.
But Anna was dieting, so I actually got it for her, and actually took it home, and she loved it. And,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh shit, okay, she loves it. We should probably
so
stock it then.
good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just
You had the salted caramel one. You mix it
The
with Biscoff.
salted caramel
Yum.
with Biscoff and like, mate,
The salted,
Don't even-
salted caramel
Oh my
the
sauce.
God.
the amount of sweetness in that meal is a joke, but it's
So
so good.
So good.
I love anything Biscoff.
Yeah, I
love
don't
anything
start me.
It's not in my house at the moment.
Yeah, fair.
We've
But-
we've binged that.
Yeah.
It's not
We have.
allowed.
Guys, you know what's actually really delicious and like low key, like not that many people know about it? Blessed bars.
ooh,
The
yes.
blessed
Oh, I
bars.
have seen them.
First of
Are
all,
they gut friendly?
They are gluten free and lactose free, and they taste like
Ooh.
Snickers. And they have like the gooey caramel and everything.
Oh my God,
like,
stop.
What's the calories on them?
181. It goes
It's
from
not
like
bad.
174 to 181.
And it's a bar,
depending
like
on
a protein
flavor.
bar?
Yeah, protein bar. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're actually really
Ooh.
decent macros as well. It does have carbs because it is a plant-based bar,
Mm.
but it's delicious.
Yeah.
I rate it.
Yum.
Highly recommend.
I actually that's funny you say that because even with when it comes to protein bars, I can literally at this point feel like I can only have the Smart Protein bar. So
Yeah.
that is a great option.
Honestly,
And
so yum.
the part that you said about it having a little bit higher carbs, it's actually not a bad thing because when you go with those protein powders that do have all those artificial sweeteners, your guts are just
Ooh,
rat shit.
yeah.
And it's just
No.
not worth it
it's
to me.
not. It's not worth it.
And those
No.
protein farts, forget
Yeah.
it.
I remember
Forget it.
my- My
Yeah.
first prep, I was just could not control. I had a box of Maxine Burn bars by myself.
Oh, they're the worst.
And I had one. I was like, I'll just have one. It's just, couple calories. I'll have one. I had half the box in one go.
Half
Oh,
the
no.
box.
Half the box in one go.
And a quest.
Oh, not a
too.
Quest bar.
That's the first.
Stay
comp-
clear.
yeah, that was not
Cramp.
pretty, and yeah, it was horrid. Like I now have these veins on the side of my forehead from just how many protein bars I was chewing
Just
at that
chewing.
Oh
point.
my God, because
Yes,
they're oh.
because it's so chewy.
Do you know what you actually just gave me like a question to ask? Protein powders from the supermarket. Yay or nay?
Okay, so traditionally, protein powders in supermarkets or chemists have been like in the industry, in the supplement industry, have always been like lowest grade.
Yeah.
Lowest
Yeah,
grade.
Of course.
Now there are companies that are reputable that are starting to go into supermarket, and we're like, why would you do that? Like, it's an actual reputable company that's now being blended with all this shit. So there are starting to stump. Actually, as much as I hate it, there are some that are starting to come out in supermarket shelves.
Yeah.
But some companies that are reputable are also making different products for supermarkets to fit the
Yeah.
margins, to fit these price points, to fit in the shop. So
Give us your top 5 brands of like whey protein, like common ones that general people would probably buy. Like, what are your top 5 protein powders?
usually if it says, like, if it's coming from New Zealand, Australia, grass-fed, usually the ones I would go for.
Yeah.
So just off the top of my head, International Protein, Primabolics, Cyborg Sport, like these are just a couple of whey proteins that come into my head that I know are from New Zealand, that are grass-fed whey protein, that are, yeah, those are the ones I would say.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would just say avoid anything that's solely marketed to women or males.
Yeah.
That's marketing. They're just trying to sell things to you based on your gender. And we're all like human bodies, like our gender actually doesn't affect the way that we process protein or absorb protein. Like you shouldn't have a whey protein for male or female. There's no need.
All process is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was one point where, what was it, that female products are like more, even though if they're exactly identical to male products, they
They're
just
more
charge more expensive.
Yeah. The girl tax. It's like
The
racist.
pink tax.
Yeah,
The pink tax is what it's called.
Yeah. Things are getting political. But yeah, like they
I'm ready to
charge
fight.
more-
Let's go.
Okay. No, we love Max's and Maxines, but Max's and Maxines bars are the exact same thing. The burn bars are 20 grams smaller, and the guys ones are 20 grams bigger, and they're the same price a lot of the time.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
But I mean, that's just in like snacks, like razors. Like, have you bought a female razor and compared it to guys' razors? More expensive.
Oh, right, like shaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, women's are more expensive.
In saying that, I'm finding females nowadays are just not like they will go for products that like I've recommended a few mass gainers to females, and the Max is one actually. And for them to still take it, even though there's this big, massive cartoon character bodybuilding, cartoon at the big and from packaging, and they still grab it, just shows how much the industry's changed with people.
Massively.
Yeah.
And that's not like, it's nothing bad about Max's and Maxines. They have been a brand that's been out for such a long time. That's what the industry was about back in the day. Our parents would buy mommy body only, and that was what it was back then. And I think that is really cool that they actually have kept to their like original integrity and what they wanted to do. Like, they have really not changed their image just because of
With all this food talk, should we get into our other segment? How well do you guys know your products?
Yeah.
So what's going to happen?
Can I say? So I remember one point when I was studying throughout uni, I was walking down the halls, and I remember smelling a protein, and I remember smelling the protein.
Smelling a protein.
Yes, I could smell a protein. Someone had made a protein shake.
Oh,
okay,
They were drinking it in one of the classes, and I was that hungry, and I smelled it, and I was like, diamatized ISO 100 strawberry. I know exactly what that was. So I would like to say, I think I know.
I was going to say, so what you're saying, you're going to nail this.
I hope so.
You guys have
Just
to
wording myself up.
We have to
close your eyes.
Are you that hungry?
blindfold you.
I'm hungry.
So we've got one thing that you have to eat, and then the rest are drinking.
All right, let's do this.
But you have to close your eyes because we don't want you to see the color because you'll know straight away.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
So Kayla's just grabbing these now. All right.
Trusting me.
Same one.
The same one. Oh yeah, the same one at the same time. All right. All right, ready? Oh, just here below. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite to the
full.
Yeah, it's quite full. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. No, you got to drink it.
He's smelling it.
Without smelling it, adrenal switch.
Yeah. Chocolate.
Yep.
Chocolate. Okay, yep, nailed it.
Yep.
Me, I'm like,
Just by smelling it.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you get
Love
it
it.
all? All right.
Yum.
There you go.
Adrenal
Eyes
switch. So
closed
we got the
together.
first one done.
Supplement
Adrenal
number
switch, you
1,
got it.
adrenal switch, stress, sleep, recovery, chocolate flavor, hot chocolate. Get onto it.
So good.
Get it into you.
All right.
All right, the second one.
Oh, do I know what this one is?
Right.
Yeah, you do. Oh, this one
Right.
might be a bit tangy, but
We're getting tips.
all right. 3, 2, 1.
A little clue.
Oh wait.
Oh. It's giving me paradise fruits. Is it grind paradise fruits?
Was it?
Yeah, it's very
Oh, wow.
Grind.
very thick,
Grind.
isn't
Yeah.
it? Very thick grind paradise fruits.
Yeah.
So
It's good though. I like it.
pre-workout, non-stim,
Pre-workout this time of the night too. Gorgeous.
Thank you.
without the caffeine though. FYI, you'll be fine. All right, next one.
Our third one.
I'm like, yeah.
I'm trying here. Okay.
Please say some more.
All right. 3,
Supplement number 3.
1.
What is it?
Isorip strawberry white chocolate.
No, it's not. It's the biscuits.
Oh, spice
It's
caramel cookie.
Isorip. Spice caramel cookie.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Damn it.
Yes.
Damn it, I got the product, just didn't get the
Okay.
the flavor.
Strawberry.
So
Strawberry.
ISO ripped protein powder, spiced cookie, which is basically like the Biscoff
Yes.
flavor.
Guys, I've kept my eyes closed the whole entire time.
Yeah,
so
please.
like
Make sure you have.
All right, supplement number 4.
I feel like everyone's.
Fuck, I'm doing this so bad.
I'm like,
We got. I
I'm
want to eat
literally
that
like the
so
meme
bad.
right
I'm
now.
so hungry.
Everyday health.
3, 2, 1.
Hey.
yeah, mango.
Yeah. Everyday
Mango.
health.
Tasting it.
They are killing this.
The everyday health is honestly, I have this every day in my smoothie.
All right. So for this next one, hold your hand out
I thought you were gonna say hold your hands.
and pray.
Oh, can I have some of this one?
Is
Wait,
this
don't
pure
eat it
fact?
yet.
Do not eat it, Kayla. Belle
Don't
may
you
be
dare.
watching.
All right. 3, 2,
Ooh.
1.
Up.
Banana. Banana bread.
Banana. She's got it.
You're on it.
She is. Anna's on fire. If we do a check score, Anna has won the competition.
Yeah, no, she
And
has.
there's one more that you
And
just
there's-
need to put into a cup, but I think Anna has just.
No.
No, I hit it.
Oh, okay,
Oh, all right. Hang on. 2
Plus,
cups.
good. Keep
I'm
your eyes
legally blind,
closed.
so
Oh no.
I can smell that.
Wait, the drink or this?
Yeah, then the drink.
Right.
All
There
right,
you
there's
go.
one.
All right. Oh no, that just looks so good. Oh, I'm just gonna sniff it. I'm just gonna sniff
All
it.
right,
Do we
3,
drink it?
2, 1.
Oh. It's tingling.
Gurgle it around.
it's sour gummy worms. No.
I still got the taste of banana in my mouth of this. Amino energy.
Is it Red Bull? Is
So
it
they-
like ours? For
Yeah,
real? Or
They're
is this a trick?
stumped. They're stumped on this one.
Can I get a refill?
All right, take 2.
Take 2. Close your eyes.
Oh dear. This is a popular supplement.
It's Bang. No.
Bow, bow.
Give you a hint. It also comes in like a tub as well. I don't think you stock the tub.
Oh,
But
it's the
you-
kamikaze.
No,
No?
no.
It's Ray's. No?
Far out.
Oh, we finally got you
We've stumped him on the last one.
Wait, so it comes in a tub.
And it's not a
And
minute.
also, so this brand has
And a
said it
can.
wasn't. It comes in a can and it comes in a tub too. But the,
And we stock it.
you only stock the can. You don't stock the actual
Powder.
powder, correct? But the powder form is very,
And
very
it's not
syrupy.
Ray's.
No,
It's a very popular.
it's basically people say it's the basic bitch.
pre-workout.
Four.
Yeah.
And it's the
What
Sour
flavour?
Batch Bros.
No.
No, is it the sour gummy worm?
Bum bum.
One more turn.
Frozen bumsicle.
No.
Nah. It is cotton candy C4 pre-workout.
Really?
It tastes so lemony with your eyes closed.
Really?
Yeah. The moment
Good
that I opened my eyes,
job.
I was like, yeah, cotton candy.
That was
Wow.
good. All right. You
Is that
4 out of 5 success rate.
4
yeah?
out of 5. I'm glad we got one that stumped you.
Yeah. But the others you pretty much were spot on straight
Straight
away.
away.
Even the flavors, all of it.
That's crazy.
I just fucked up with the strawberry, but
That was so good.
Yeah.
I'm so
though.
confident too.
I was going to say you're so
I'm not confident. No, because I had made it up today. So I was like strawberry white chocolate. Well, yeah. okay,
You were the
yeah.
king of making up these crazy combos.
Which
Like
one?
the
Actually, I remember when I went to Crew
What
and
did
you
you
had
call
one and
it?
you're like, I'll get this, I'll get this.
Yeah,
you
okay.
call it like a
I've
particular.
got this
Your
like
concoction.
I've got my
Concoction.
signature mix that is a mix of grind pre-work of Parabolics grind, reset thermogenic activator, and a nootropic, which all three together.
It's like a 3
yeah, it's a really good stack.
combination.
It's a really good
Triple
mix.
whammy.
Yeah.
triple
bang.
whammy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
It's his mocktail every morning so he can get to
Oh,
the gym.
it's divine.
So
He's actually
good.
made it for me, and I'm not gonna lie, it was delicious. But yeah, what we do now. So we've done your little summary of the sups. We are gonna finish with a series of rapid fire questions. So it is a short, sharp bang.
First thing that comes to your mind.
Cool.
All right, first one. Favorite supplement?
Adrenal.
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Yeah,
Yep.
chocolate.
Grind. Parabolics.
Plant-based or whey protein?
Plant-based.
Whey.
Calorie surplus or calorie deficit for the rest of your life?
And when we say calorie deficit, it doesn't have to be a hard deficit, just a calorie deficit.
Surplus.
Who the fuck is deficit?
Honestly,
Apparently,
I don't
no.
even care to be skinny if I can't have the foods.
You know what?
Food over bod.
Yeah, food over bud.
Michael Trimboli came on and he explained it quite well. It made me change my mind about it. He's like, when you're in a calorie deficit, not a hard deficit, but just a little deficit, your like metabolism's moving better, you feel better,
Yeah,
you're digesting food better. So I feel like I would be deficit.
Somewhat deficit.
but I feel like
I'm a
if-
surplus for sure.
If I'm on like a slight surplus, I'm building muscle, you know,
and I'm happy.
I'm happy.
Yeah, true. You can think
You can
clearly.
think clearly. No one's grumpy.
All I know is that he will get to the end of the day and want a burger and be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Can't have a
I just
burger.
want that burger.
All right, one exercise you can't live without.
Me. Straight away, hack squats.
yeah.
Dumbbell shoulder presses. I love them. And my shoulder was injured for the past month. So I was like, fuck, I hated it.
He's craving a shoulder press.
What's your go-to breakfast?
Oats, lemon cheesecake, but my lemon cheesecake tub finished 2 days ago.
Oh my god, I forgot about that protein powder.
It's been my breakfast for the past like 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
Lemon
Lemon
cheesecake protein powder from Reset.
Sci-tech.
Yes,
Reset,
that's right,
listen
sorry.
to us.
Listen to us
Make
to
it.
get the lemon cheesecake. That
So
was fucking
without
wild.
giving too much away, there's a favorite supplement company that we work with that will be helping us out with an exclusive flavor. Without saying too much, I'm just going to leave that there.
Let's continue this chat.
Jose's is the same because I make his breakfast.
Of course she does. In the gym, are you a music listener or a podcast listener?
Oh, definitely music. Like music all the time.
Yeah, I don't know how people listen to podcasts when they're working out.
I do.
Do
I think
ya?
it depends on what mood I'm in.
Yeah,
But at the moment, I'm mainly podcasts.
I agree. It depends. It depends on my mindset.
Yeah.
If I'm like vibing through life, I'm like on my music. If I know that I just need a little bit of like motivation, I will put something that will just settle me back
Yeah. Yeah.
into reality.
Or if you get sick of your own music, like if
Yeah.
you haven't had any new
Listen
music.
to us, why don't you?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like cardio and podcast is so much better than cardio and music.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And
Yeah.
sometimes,
Cardio, sure.
sometimes music gets stressful. Sometimes you're like, no, next song,
Yes.
no, next song, no, next song.
SoundCloud.
Yeah.
But sometimes
Playlist.
it's certain,
but
certain
then
music makes you like, it gives me anxiety.
anxious.
Yeah.
Trance, you put hard style
Forget
for
it.
me and I'm like, nah.
Turn me off.
I'm like, yeah, it's going. And I'm like,
You feel like you're high. You
yeah,
feel like you're
yeah.
like this.
I'm like, yeah, on a state of panic.
What's the strangest fitness trend you've ever come across?
I think dry scooping's pretty strange. Like, I think it's unnecessary. Yeah. Like, look, I mean,
Is it
You're still
it's
so
not,
intrigued.
It's not any more effective.
no, it's
is it?
actually better the more water you drink.
Yeah.
it's just, I guess, a little bit of a flex that you can, I don't know, swallow powder. I know,
yeah,
like,
that's
and
super
the thing is,
Let me show you whilst I sit in my car.
some people mess up. Like, there's pre-workouts with pepper in it, and like Total War's one that people struggle with. So every time they go to dry scoop Total War, they end up
Forget it.
choking.
Oh my god, true?
yeah, this has happened.
That reminds me of like the cinnamon challenge.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
literally.
So dry scooping is my answer.
Oh, what's next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could turn any unhealthy meal into a healthy meal, what would it be?
Ooh, definitely ramen. Like, I know ramen doesn't seem like the densest meal. But
Really?
yeah. Like, big bowls of ramen are heavy. And because they have like that fat floating on the broth and everything. Like, yeah.
That is an interesting one.
Yeah,
All right.
like, and I mean like full-bodied ramen, not like miso ramen. Like, I want the milky one.
Yeah, yum. Yum.
Oh, donuts, definitely.
Donuts.
Donuts.
Yeah, hard, 100%. I love donuts.
Are you more donuts or like those loaded cookies?
No, donuts.
Really?
A load of cookies are an insult to me. Like, honestly, donuts. And like, it's not just like just donuts. Like, if you give me Daniel's donuts, I'm going to look at you
Forget
like,
it.
what an insult.
Yeah.
So where's your go-to?
Either Bistro Morgan,
Oh yeah.
Pex Road, Toddco, and Gotham are like my top.
What type
four.
of donut is your favorite donut?
Usually, I'm a basic bitch with cookies and cream.
Look how excited you are
I
talking
fucking
about this.
love donuts. Give me a donut and I'm happy. Like, you know, when I was prepping, I had a genuine fear that Krispy Kremes are going to shut down. Like, I that was a fear of mine. So anytime I had a cheat meal, I got a box of Krispy Kremes because I was like, I might not ever get it again.
So you got to go hard.
I had to go hard.
All or nothing, gotta go.
So cookies and cream is my go-to. Other than that, like Bistro Morgan and his specific Cookie Monster.
Yep.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Oh,
Oh my god.
It's a donut filled with cake butter.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like
you do know
actual
this girl's
cake
like
butter.
nearly 8 weeks out, yeah?
Cake
This is
butter.
cruel. This is cruel.
So push,
maybe,
push.
maybe that's my high carb meal.
Oh,
Donuts.
stop.
You're gonna have your whole meal at one time.
Yeah.
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 Don't.
Worth it though. I reckon it's worth it.
It's worth it.
What's one thing people starting their fitness journey tend to misunderstand about like the whole process of fitness and healthy life? And
I think one that's really important is that everyone that you see on Instagram looking beautifully shredded all year is most likely not the healthiest person, and they are just upkeeping their aesthetics. I think that is very important for anyone who's young and is trying to get into the gym or trying to get healthier, is that aiming for a ripped six-pack is not healthy. When you do have that six-pack and veins everywhere, you are quite depleted, you're quite grumpy, you've been dieting for a long time. So just don't strive to be perfect, just strive to be the healthiest version of yourself and nourish your body. Like, take care of yourself. We only have this one body.
Inside and out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's important. The insides are so important. Also, protein keeps you full.
Stop chasing the magic pill, right? And I don't mean that just supplements, but I find that there are more and more young men that are turning towards anabolics, and I'm noticing on TikTok and Reels and like what's trending is a specific steroid called Tren.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you've come across it. Vitamin T. Like it's become, it is probably the worst anabolic to use.
Yeah,
And
we didn't even touch on that in this conversation.
No, which is fine. Like it's a totally different like topic, I guess. But that's one thing I would say: stop chasing the magic pill. You know, for women, I guess we have a lot of women that come in looking for fat burners. You know, OxyShred is the go-to product that everyone just gravitates to. You know, for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And for men, like we're noticing more and more shift towards anabolics at a younger age and using compounds that even people that compete hesitate using. Yeah, stop chasing the magic pill.
yeah.
Have a healthy lifestyle. Fucking
Stop
live
chasing
your
the pill.
best, live your best life.
Do it to be strong. Do it to last. Do it to be healthy for, a
Ever.
long time.
Yeah.
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 All right, a bit of this or that. Would you ask for permission or ask for forgiveness?
Forgiveness. Always.
Permission. Permission.
Love or money?
Love for sure. Not even a question.
You better say the right answer here, Jose.
I actually once told Anna that I would give everything up for her to chase what it is that she wants to do. That's why I would choose like love.
Aw.
Love, that is so beautiful.
I love that.
Ah.
Love that.
What is the hardest business decision you have ever made?
Honestly, I think most like business owners would sort of feel this, but like the first time that you have to let someone go is the worst.
As in an employee?
Yeah, especially when like, it's just, it's sort of like out of your control. I'm such a like forgiving person that I'll
you
always
take
be
it
like,
person like it's hard to
yeah, it's hard for me. Like recently we've had like our store being built and everything, and like that's sort of like moved people's shifts and everything, and I'm like, I'll go, I'll take annual leave. You come in. I will remove myself.
Yeah.
So I think that just
Yeah, for me it's the same. Like I would not call myself naturally a business person. Like I'm just someone that loves supplements and loves this industry. Like, and from when I'm having to, put the business first over other things, like, just loving being in the store and helping people that come in, that's the hard decision. And I constantly have to make that quite a bit.
difficult conversations.
Working on it than in it. And I read a book called The E-Myth not too long this year actually, and it raised a good point. People that love what they do probably shouldn't own a business, because if you loved your craft, you're not going to be able to do your craft if you own a business. Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
So here I am being like, I want to serve people on the floor. store and everything and everyone being like, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. I'm like, fuck's
Like,
sake.
no, you're the boss. You can't just be a casual. Like, you have to get back to work.
I just want to stock the shelves, make the store look pretty, help the people that are coming in, and here I'm having to look at the numbers and everything. Like, fuck, I want to be doing this. That's not what I signed up for.
Yeah, that's funny.
Your turn. My bad.
What's the hardest decision you've made in your personal life?
Ooh, mine was, I think, honestly, for me, it was, this is getting so deep into it. But for me, it was leaving uni. I left uni because my mom got sick and I picked up a second full-time job just so I could take care of the household. So it was a very hard decision, but I knew it was just what I needed to do. And I don't regret it, but it was a very hard decision to be like, okay, like it's
Would you go
hard.
back?
No, because I realized that like my life is just taking me in so many other different pathways. Also when I started studying my career, I was 18, as we all are. And I mean, I started studying business entrepreneurship and we have started our own business.
You don't need that course.
Where you meant to be.
They need me. So
Yeah, you need to go teach that course.
so yeah, hit me up for live
entrepreneurship. Let's go.
I'll add entrepreneur to my Instagram bio.
For me, it would actually probably be, having to turn away from family and people that I hold close. And that came from me constantly having people around me that were pulling me down or people that just weren't serving me or helping me. And as much as I know you need to be there for your family. I've always had a bit of a rough relationship with mine. But more so like putting yourself first. Like if you're just constantly being dragged through the mud and these other people aren't doing anything to better themselves, and sometimes you just need to
cut them.
You just need to cut it. And it's a hard decision to make, and a lot of people would struggle, especially people that are so family orientated too.
Yeah.
I guess I could say I'm blessed having a rough upbringing in family, that it was easier for me to cut ties, but it's still a hard decision to make, that you have to do it, then you got to do it.
For sure.
So yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't matter if you're friends or your family. If you need to do what's best for you.
You just need to do it.
Yeah.
I think especially if you are doing something positive for yourself and you notice that there are people that are around you and they, even if they're your loved ones and part of your family and your friends, and they're constantly trying to drag you down and keep you in the same place, even if it's just your weight loss journey or getting healthier, and they're like, why are you doing that? No, don't do that. You're being annoying. Like those little comments do matter when you're in such a vulnerable space. So it's really important that you do make the right decision for you, and you realize that like your opinion is the only one there's at the end.
I love that.
that.
I really appreciate that. That's such a good piece of advice, I think, because it's even like when you're friends with people for such a long time, it doesn't matter how long you're friends with someone for. If it's no longer serving you, let it go, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think I saw something that was like the grass and the trees come from the same place, but they don't hang out together. And I think it's so important for us to all sort of realize that, like, a lot of the time, we may all come from the same place, but if that person is very comfortable staying in that place so much that they want to keep it with them, even if it stops you from growing, like, you need to cut that.
Yeah, definitely.
Very good piece of advice. What is your favorite thing about NC?
I love the team. I love everyone in the highlight.
I love the huge range of customers that we have come in. Like, we have people that are just like people that are competing, people that are pros coming in, but then we have people that are just starting off, and I'd almost like people that just, how do I put it, I'd consider them a little bit dorky. They're coming for they're people, they're unique people. And I just love seeing that range of just, that huge range of people coming in. The diversity of the ages and everything. We just have such a mix of people coming in, and I just love seeing it.
And one thing bringing everyone together, like health and fitness.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the most beautiful thing of it all. It's like, sometimes I love doing this. I mean, I'm sorry if you're not an extrovert and you do come in, but a lot of the time we have a bunch of customers. Like, if I'm alone and I have 5 people come in, I'm always like, hey, you talk to you and you talk to you.
You're good at that.
And people actually start just having random conversations about their pre-workout, about which gym they go to.
And
in
people
that
connect.
moment-
You're creating
Yeah.
connections with people.
And you
Yeah.
realize that at the end of the day, like, even though we all have different interests, and maybe someone will like anime and someone will like just want to watch car videos or dirt bikes or the UFC, we all have one common interest, and it's getting better and better in ourselves and getting healthier, and the gym and gains. So everyone just connects, and it's so beautiful to see that.
And you really have created a space for that. Like, that's, I think, the best thing about Nutrition Capital. I've never seen anything else like it with the community that
100%.
you've built.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Even just like different, like your competitors, you notice that when you go into the stores, it's just a completely different vibe when you go into Nutrition Capital, like from the people because you don't even like, you guys generally care about the people that come in, not trying to like
It's
push
not
a product
money
down their throat.
It's not money focused.
Yeah.
It's so important to us as well to not be a money or like, you know, like a sale money focused business, because what we really care about is people seeing progress. And if people see progress, they're going to come back.
Yep.
They're going to come back anyways. So
Yep.
a repeat customer that comes in and keeps on coming is much more important to us than like being like, here's 500 products and now leave and never come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's again that whole relationship building. So that's what you're doing, so that you are getting people coming back all the time.
Yeah.
Yay.
Our community, just in touch on that, like our community is so important because we opened Sunbury 6 months before COVID hit. So
Oh, wow.
we were trading for 6 months, sort of like testing the waters, and then everything hit. Gyms closed, like everything closed down. So we really had to just rely on our community, and our Sunbury community came through. We were living in Sunbury, and they would order. We had to set up the website literally like overnight. They would order, they would put it on their Instagrams, let people know that we were delivering.
I was gonna say, you guys were doing like hardcore deliveries during COVID.
I literally like in our little Holden car, like we got a Holden Cruise because there was a bunch of issues with the cars. We had to get a Holden Cruise, which is the worst kind of car that you can possibly get to
I've
drive
heard.
around.
I have actually heard. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was running that thing from 7 a.m. up until 7 p.m. like every
doing
single day,
deliveries.
just doing deliveries. Like I would like not have it. Sometimes I would be like, "Nah, I'm not drinking water today because there's nothing open."
Because you can't go pee.
There was not even
Wow.
Macca's open, so I was like, "It's just you and me, girlfriend. Let's go." Yeah, just 12 hours as a crackhead, just caffeine and go.
Wait, so you were delivering the products yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, so at that
Did you ever
point,
get stopped?
Actually, no. No one ever stopped us. Like there was, like, yes, there was all these restrictions, but
We
even
did
if
have permits.
yes, if we did get stopped, but even when we went through a checkpoint with the army, they just looked at the piece of paper. It's like, oh yes, this is paper. Off you go.
Sure.
There was one time.
Korea still?
Yeah,
That's fine.
there was this one time I just pulled up and they were like, "Going to work," and I was like, "Yep," and they were like, "Okay." And
that was the end of
That
it.
was it.
And I was
That was
like,
it.
"This is my paper. Have a look at it. I got it."
This
I am allowed.
This is because
Yeah.
we went through this because we were going to Geelong. Like we delivered to Geelong. We delivered Fit Larder was what also got us delivering that far because no one had this ice cream either. So and we
that's
were like,
fine.
Geelong, all right, screw it. There's nothing else to do. We're in lockdown. Let's go for a nice drive to Geelong. Fuck it.
Because why not?
Could be bringing COVID into the town of Geelong, but we were like, screw it. Let's go for the drive. So we did it, and that's how we realized the Ring of Steel was just nothing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just nothing.
We did not go into the town of Geelong though to prance around because we were still like mindful. We were like, no, like everyone was scared at that time. So we were like, we don't want to be
Yeah.
those people on news, like just deliver it and
We
go to
didn't-
the beach quickly on the car. Okay, bye.
We didn't want to be that business that gave COVID, but it was a hotspot. There was nothing
Could you
as a
imagine?
business owner. There was nothing you wanted less than having to see
being
your
a
name
hotspot.
being a hotspot.
Yeah.
Like, because if you were, then you either got bad Google reviews at the time, or the media was putting your business in the light that was bad, and it was just yeah.
Yeah, you did not need that.
And then once that happens, it's kind of
Good
all
luck.
downhill from there.
Good luck. And we were just waiting for it to happen because after we noticed a couple of maybe fourth lockdown in, people realized they could come into the store and realized people could come into the store. So we're like, fuck it, doors open. We're, The same restrictions that fuck us all the time with the TJ were the same restrictions that allowed us to stay open. So we were like, screw it, let's take it. So we opened our doors and people were like, I'm bored, I'm coming to Nutrition Capital.
There we go. And that's how it's eventuated.
Honestly.
That's how it's evolved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our last question. So the podcast is called Evolve to Thrive. So we want to know how you can, Georgia, you've stumped me.
I'm so sorry.
How do you think people can evolve each day, or what is something that they can implement into their life so that they can evolve and thrive?
Thrive in their everyday life and just be a better person.
I think a really, really, really good thing that you can do. Well, something that Jose actually introduced into my life, and he may hate me for stealing this off him. But he actually got us this book called The Daily Stoic. And it's got like 366 meditations for like every single day. But it's a book where you just read 1 page a day.
Yeah.
And it gives you a really nice piece of wisdom for you to just think over. I think that book has been really, really beneficial for me this year, especially in terms of just keeping me on track of the everyday and keeping me present. I tend to be someone who we all go through our moods and our ups and downs. I know a lot of people don't notice because how could you, right? Like I'm always like full on, but I do get really stressed. And when I get stressed, I just pull back. I'm like, I will disappear into like, don't talk to me. Like no one, like it's just me. So having that day is just a good reminder to just like show up. Like you're here today and like nothing's wrong. You're just stressed. So get up and move on.
That's great. Yeah. We'll
Love
find
that.
out where the hell you got that from. Thank you.
Well, I got mine from another book I was reading, and I'll touch on that. I hate reading books, but the only reason I started reading books is because every time when I go to the toilet, I leave my phone outside and I leave a book in there. And I find when I'm in the bathroom, I just start reading like random bottles that are hanging around. So I figured if I leave a book in there, I'm going to read it out of boredom. So I'm like, I've never read a
How
full.
long were you in the toilet for?
Well, that's the thing. I spent 30 minutes on my phone. You know, right?
There
So,
were times where I was like,
Are you all right?
So,
Do
like,
you need any help?
for the first time ever, I'm like 8 books in this year because I've left it in the fucking toilet.
He's 8 books in.
Just because
Oh
he's been
my
on the
goodness.
diet.
Because of that.
And
And
he loves it.
That is a really good recommendation.
That's so
so I
good.
thought any guy, like I know you probably, do you spend that much time in the toilet too? Right, you're the same, right? So just leave your book in there and the phone outside. There you go. Productivity. So what I learned from it is don't underestimate the smallest changes.
Yeah,
like
love
the
it.
smallest little changes you can make. And for me, that was leaving my phone out and leaving my book in the toilet. That
Just a
smallest
couple of
change,
pages.
it's
Yeah.
a couple of pages, got me fucking 8 books in this year, which was always a goal to read more than 1 book a year. And I barely even never did that until that smallest change happened. So even though something looks small and insignificant, do it, see what happens.
Yeah.
Big results over a long
love
period of
that.
time.
Yeah.
Amazing. I think that wraps everything up. Thank you guys so much for coming onto the pod. I reckon this has been our favourite episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I reckon.
Really
this has been the best conversation that we've
Did
had.
you hear
I
that,
reckon.
guys?
Did you
Hey.
fucking hear that? I think you've provided a lot of
Insight,
yeah, and education.
valuable information.
valuable, yeah, because I think a lot of people just get supplements just to have. So you breaking everything down, I think everyone's going to benefit from that a lot. So if you guys are wanting to get yourself sorted with some supplements, be sure to head into any of their stores in Essendon, Broadmeadows, Werribee and Sunbury. And where can they find you guys?
They can find us on Instagram at nutritioncapital.vic, and also we have food inspo at nutritioncapital.pantry. And if you want to find me personally, is Ana Espana World. And Jose, your Instagram.
You'll find it on her bio.
I love that.
If you find me, you'll find him.
Can we get a quick update? When is the Broady store launching? When is open day? When can everybody come down and see you all in person?
So we're now expecting this to be open on Thursday night from 3 p.m. We'll open the doors if everything goes according to plan, which at this point it is.
As in Thursday next week?
Thursday next week.
Yep.
Yes, Thursday next week.
Ooh.
And then grand opening is that same weekend. So
Give us the date because this will get released next week.
Ooh.
16th.
That sounds right.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Confirmed it,
Yep. That's it.
16th of September.
16th of September.
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
So this will be out Wednesday next week, and then you guys will be open
The following day.
So tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. That's true. And that this weekend, I guess it's our grand
It's this
opening.
weekend.
Oh.
Get ready to party.
If you come in, so we're doing like this, the whole 10% lifetime discount. So if you want to come in, score yourself a discount for life, grab that. We're giving away we're doing like heaps of giveaways, goodie bags, discounts. Like we like to make a lot of noise on those days.
You don't want to
Fuck yeah.
miss this
Nah,
day.
definitely not.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you now.
Nah, we even got cookies, so
Oh, I'm there. Done. I'm there.
And I what?
Not donuts.
cookies.
I was like, no.
They all have Kayla's face on them.
Saving these? Hi, Club Day. Hello.
Like, okay, I'm gonna just wait the whole entire week now. Get through.
Love it. Oh, let's wrap it up then, Rory. But we're very grateful to have you in our lives and on the show today. And as always, pleasure to have you.
We'll see you all next week.
Guys.
Bye.
Bye next week. Bye.